All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The 8-4 Cincinnati Bengals have won 4 straight games. Huge win at home against the Kansas City Chiefs this past weekend. They have now, in the last calendar year, taken down Kansas City 3 straight times. 3 straight times. All right, they are 8-4. They are one of the best offenses in the NFL, despite all the injuries that they've sustained on both sides, actually. But specifically on the offensive side, they're very underrated, man. They're putting up 26 points a game, which is good for 7th in the NFL. The defense also has lost some players at various points of the season. However, they're getting more than the job done, giving up just over 21 points a night. Good for 13th in the National Football League. So this team has taken down in back-to-back weeks Super Bowl caliber teams. Kansas City, obviously, and then the week before on the road. Very difficult place to play in Tennessee. Very good defense over there in Tennessee as well. They're just getting the job done, man. No matter who's out, no matter who's in, Joe Burrow is having an MVP-type season. Samaje Perine is really lighting things up in wake of Joe Mixon right now. Since Week 11, 330 yards from scrimmage, which is 3rd among running backs, 4 total touchdowns, which is 2nd among running backs. So this depth, we're really seeing the depth all season long. We've been seeing the depth, but considering this is a team that started off with a brutal loss to Pittsburgh, lost the next week, another nail-biter, lost to Dallas. They started the season off 0-2. A month into the season, they were 2-3 with another divisional loss against Baltimore, and people just kind of wrote them off. Well, since that last loss on Halloween to Cleveland, which was also not the best loss, but they've taken down Carolina, they've taken down Pittsburgh, Tennessee, and Kansas City now, and their offense is clicking on every single cylinder. They are some way, somehow more versatile, more explosive. They are just all around better than they were last year, considering this is the team that came out of the AFC. This is the team that represented the AFC in the Super Bowl. They're clearly proving right now that last year was not a fluke one bit. So before we get any further into this video, guys, if you enjoy it, hit the like button, hit that sub button. This is actually my first ever Bengals video, so let's try and get this video to 200 likes. That would be awesome. Bengal Nation, if you guys want more content, let me know down below. But the thing that really stood out to me against Kansas City and just in these wins in general is I feel like Cincinnati is so close to putting it all together. I feel like they're so close. There were countless errors, the Boyd drop or penalties at the wrong time or just lack of execution on the smallest of small things in that game against Kansas City, but they were resilient and they still ended up winning the football game. So they're overcoming all of their mistakes, and that should terrify teams in the National Football League in general, but specifically the AFC. I think that they win the division. I actually don't think that it will be as close as it may seem right now. They're currently 2nd in the AFC North behind the Baltimore Ravens, but Baltimore, they cannot stay healthy. They have not been able to overcome these injuries, so I think it really is just a matter of time. Now, the one thing with Cincinnati is they have one of the most difficult schedules remaining in the league. However, this upcoming week, big redemption game at home against Cleveland. I know Deshaun is back for them, but I still think Cincinnati takes care of them. You face a struggling Tampa Bay offense, so I think Cincinnati headed into the last 3 games of the season will be sitting at 10-4. Then that's when things get a little interesting because you go to New England, you come back home for your final 2 games against Buffalo and Baltimore, and we're really going to get a good sense of it, what this team is fully capable of, because like I said, man, they just feel so close, and as their health starts to come back, the offensive line week to week is getting better and better, the defense week to week is getting better and better, some way, somehow, Joe Burrow is getting better and better every game. Like, they're really impressive, and it's being led by MVP candidate Joe Burrow. He's got a 69.1 completion percentage, which is insane. He has a quarterback rating of 103.7, along with just under 3,500 total yards, 25 touchdowns, and just 8 interceptions. That's about 287 passing yards per game. Now, you have Joe Mixon. He's a little banged up right now, but Perine has been phenomenal in the wake of him. So just kind of goes to show you that depth I'm talking about. Then in the receiving room, got T. Higgins. Jamar Chase is back, and it is clear he is still Jamar Chase. There is nothing to worry about. He was making plays this week against Kansas City. You also have Tyler Boyd. It's a really versatile offensive unit, and to me, they're just getting better, right? But to me, it's going to come down to the defense. Once we get into the playoffs, it's going to come down to the defense, and I got to say, I am riding this momentum from that win against Kansas City, but it just truly was so impressive. Like, I don't think words can really do that game justice. They held Patrick Mahomes to 223 passing yards. 223 passing yards. That is by far the lowest number for the Kansas City Chiefs in the entire season. Keep in mind, this team was 9-2 headed into this game. Patrick Mahomes was, to a lot of people, the clear-cut MVP. Well, I think you have to give the nod to Joe Burrow over Patrick Mahomes after that game. The run game was, I guess, a flaw. They gave up 5.5 yards per run at the end of the day, but I really like the direction this defense is trending in, and they held Kansas City. Most importantly, they got the job done when they needed to get the job done. They held Kansas City to 0 points in the fourth quarter. They shut them out in the fourth quarter. That's a very big deal because Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs, offensively speaking and just in general, they are very good in the fourth quarter. They are very good when they close out football games. So the fact that the defense was able to step up, force a fumble to Travis Kelce, I mean, it speaks volumes to me. So Cincinnati, man, they're 8-4, and I anticipate them to continue to win. But the good news is, I mean, they're going to make the playoffs clearly, but if they can get to the first seed, if they can win the AFC in general, let alone their division, if they could win the AFC, and just win out for the rest of the season, I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but if Cincinnati has home field advantage headed into the playoffs, I mean that should really terrify the NFL. And I anticipate, they're beating they're Tennessee and Kansas City back-to-back weeks. It's very impressive. They're about to get tested here. They have struggled in divisional games so far this season. You finish it off against Baltimore, but you've got Cleveland this next week. Just win, and the rest will take care of itself. But, just looking at the rest of their schedule here, they're going to have plenty of opportunities to show just how good they are. Tampa Bay, I know Tampa Bay's offense is really desperate right now, but their defense is still one of the best in the NFL. New England, same thing kind of applies. Their offense is pretty desperate right now, but their defense is incredible. Buffalo has a good team, very good team. You'll probably see them in the playoffs, right? So it's a big game. Then you finish it off at home against Baltimore. So, yeah, Cincinnati's about to get tested, but they're definitely up for the battle. So let me know what you guys are thinking about this team headed into, I guess, the final 5 games of the regular season and into the playoffs. Let me know if you want more Bengal content. Hit that like button, hit that sub button, but most importantly, drop that comment down below. Peace.